Hello, everyone. Welcome to class today. Welcome to mathematics class for UTME crack. If you can hear me, I would like you to signify with an emoji, your favorite emoji, in the chat box. If you can hear me, please kindly signify with your favorite emoji in the chat box. And as well, if you can see the screen, my board, kindly signify in the chat box. Yeah, if you can hear me, and you can as well also see the whiteboard, please kindly signify with your favorite emoji in the chat box. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay. Yeah, I've seen someone have signified. Waiting for others so that we can kickstart properly. Send your favorite emoji in the chat box if you can see the screen and also you can hear me properly. I'm still waiting. I need two more emoji so we kickstart properly. One more emoji so we can kickstart. If you can hear me properly and also you can see the screen, please kindly signify in the chat box with your favorite emoji. Okay. A very quick recap of what we did last class in mathematics. The last class we treated number base. For those that were able to meet up with the class, we treated number base and we went through the hints, or let me say the tricks we need to know about number base. We made mention that in number base, we can perform basic operations, plus, minus, division, and addition. We said also that this operation can be performed only when the numbers are expressed in the same base. We also treated conversion of one base to the other base. So if you are not chance of joining the class last week, I would say that you should go to the YouTube channel, search for A1 tutor, and there you are going to have the video for number base. It has been uploaded to YouTube. Ensure you watch and learn smartly. Do not just watch alone. Ensure you also subscribe to the channel. So today we are going to consider another topic. Today we are going to consider another topic entirely. And what we'll be treating today is decimal fraction, comma, and percentage We'll be treating decimal. Under decimal, we'll be talking about approximation in generally. Approximation. That's approximating to decimal place, and also significant figure. So we're looking at this today, and I want us to try as much as possible to be able to follow attentively. So we're looking at approximation, under which we're going to be talking about decimal place, significant figure, and also we'll be talking about fraction and percentage. If you are with me, I would like you to signify with your favorite emoji. We're about to start properly. If you are following me, just give a thumbs up so we can continue. So this is the topic we'll be considering today. And we want to dive into the introductory part of the topic. So if you are with me, thumbs up on inside the chat box, thumbs up, so I can be sure that we are following. Okay. Okay, all right. So we're going to be considering decimal, under which we are going to be considering approximations of numbers to some decimal places and significant figure, and also fraction as a topic, also percentage. And these are topics that always come out in our UTME exam, O-level inclusive also. So we need to take a proper care of these topics. It seems to be very simple, but they are very technical. So to start, we're going to look at what we call a fraction. Yeah, a fraction is part of a whole. A fraction is a part of a whole. A fraction is a part of a whole. So now I believe that while we're still in primary school, we made use of an orange to explain what fraction is. If this is an orange, this represents a whole. Of course, out of this orange, which represents a whole, we can have fraction from it. That is, fraction is a portion of an entity or is a portion of a whole. So if this orange is dissected into two, we have 1/2, 1/2. If it is dissected into four places of this nature, we say we have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. I believe all of us have come across this while we are still in primary. These are the things we did in primary school. And it continues down to the senior secondary school also. This is just the basics. And what we're going to treat today, we have to have the knowledge of the basics of fraction. Now, this fraction expressed as 1/4, we have to know that a fraction contains of two things, the upper value and the lower value. The upper value is called the what? The numerator. This is called the numerator. And this is called the denominator. I believe you are getting me right. The upper value is called the numerator, and the lower value is called the denominator. And with these two components of a fraction, which is the numerator and the denominator, we tend to have some types of fraction. And from primary school, we are told that we have what we call the proper fraction. We have the improper fraction. If I will ask, among us who can tell us what a proper fraction is? Just cite an example of a proper fraction. Just give me an example in the chat box. Suggest a fraction that is a proper fraction. I'm waiting. A proper fraction, just cite an example of a proper fraction. I believe you are still following me. I want you to cite an example of a proper fraction in the chat box. I'm waiting. Still waiting. Just an example of a proper fraction, just one, so we can kick on. If a fraction is expressed as a over b, now I'm asking you to give me an example of a proper fraction. 1 over 5, great. Onome, that's great. Great response. Do you have another one? Any other person that can give us an example of a proper fraction? Okay, so we'll make use of what Onome gave us. We have 1 over 5. That is, a proper fraction is a fraction that the numerator is lesser than the denominator. Take note, the numerator is lesser than the denominator. And the improper fraction is the opposite of proper fraction. So the improper fraction, we have an example of 9 over 3, or let me say 5 over 2. So an improper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is greater than the denominator. That is improper fraction. While the proper fraction, the numerator is lesser than the denominator. So we have the third one, which is called the mixed number. The mixed number. The mixed number comprises of both a whole number and a fraction. If you are with me, please kindly signify. I believe you get this part before we proceed to the mixed number. If you get this part, please thumbs up so that we can proceed to the next part. And also, can I rub the board if you are done with what I have on the screen here? If you get what we've just discussed, thumbs up. Then also, may I rub the board if you are done with what we have on the screen so we can proceed? Thumbs up in the chat box. Can I rub off the board so that we can proceed? Waiting for your response. Okay, yes. Okay, good. So let's proceed. We said the third one we'll be looking at is the mixed number. So the third type of fraction is called the mixed number. And the mixed number has two components, that is a whole number and a proper fraction. A proper fraction. So the whole number and a proper fraction. A proper fraction. So an example is one whole number 2 over 3, or we say 5 whole number 3 over 4, and so on and so forth. So this is an example of a mixed number. So these are the basic things we learned in primary school, which will help us today in the topic we are treating, fraction, as we are treating it today. So I believe we've gotten the type of fraction we have and what a fraction is. We've said a fraction is a part of a whole. So if you have gotten that part, please thumbs up so that we'll move on to the next thing to do. Thumbs up in the chat box. Kindly signify with your emoji so that we can continue to the next part. Okay, great. So let's proceed now. We want to consider the basic operation in fraction. The basic operation in fraction. Basic operation in fraction. Operation in fraction. Now, when we hear basic operation in fraction, there's no way we want to treat this aspect that we will not be using what we know as the rule of BODMAS. The rule of BODMAS. The rule of BODMAS. So we have BODMAS. And each of these alphabets has their own meaning. Each of the alphabet has a meaning. B represents brackets, right? O represents order. Some textbook we use of. Then D represents division. M, A, and S. So I would like you to give me the response in the chat box. What does M represent in BODMAS? M, letter M, what does it represent in BODMAS? Drop your response in the chat box. What does letter M represent? What does letter A represent? And also letter S in the rule of BODMAS. I'm waiting for our response. M stands for what? A stands for what? And S stands for what? Waiting for our response. What does M stand for in BODMAS? What does A stands for in BODMAS? And S? What does M stand for in BODMAS? A stands for in BODMAS, and S? I'm waiting for a response in the chat box. Waiting. What does M, A, and also S stands for in BODMAS? Multiplication, great. Kingsley, that's great of you. Great response. On to the next. A stands for what? M stands for multiplication. Great response, Kingsley. What about A? A stands for? Still waiting. Letter A stands for?
Addition.
Addition, that's great, Kingsley. Addition. Then letter S will be subtraction. Subtraction. So these are the rules. These are the rules we are going to be using while performing some operation in fraction. While performing some operation in fraction. I believe we'll get this that we've just discussed, the basic rules, which is the rule of BODMAS in fraction. So if you get that, thumbs up. So we'll move on to the applications of this rule. We want to take an application on how to use the rule of BODMAS. We want to apply this rule to some questions. So if you get this rule of, if you get the rule of BODMAS, thumbs up, thumbs up. If we get the rule of BODMAS, thumbs up so that we can move on to, okay, great. Kingsley's, great, okay. So let's move on to the applications of BODMAS. We want to consider some questions under BODMAS. So can I clear off the board? If yes, just type yes. Can I rub off the board? If yes, just type yes in the chat box so we can proceed. Yes, okay, thank you, Kingsley. So we'll move on to the application of BODMAS. We take app 1, that's application 1. Or we have a question here, that's UTME 2019. We're asked to simplify 2/3 divided by 4/5. Close this bracket. Divisions, open another bracket. 1/4 plus 3/5 minus 1/3. UTME question 2019. We're asked to simplify this question. So we are going to solve this question step after step. So this is the question we are asked to simplify. And of course, you can see that we have different operations. We have division, addition, subtraction. So we need to follow the rule of BODMAS. It's very important. So the rule of BODMAS, bracket should be considered first. Bracket should be considered first. Bracket should be considered first. So we need to simplify the values or the fractions we have in the bracket. So let's have the solution. Let's simplify the first bracket. That's 2/3. Okay. Chukuma, Mary Rose, I don't understand. Okay. We are currently solving a question under the applications of BODMAS. So we've not started. I want you to follow attentively. We have the question here. We have to simplify this question. And we're about to solve the question now. So we have 2/3 divided by 4/5. Close the brackets. We want to simplify this first. That will give us 2/3. Of course, we cannot work with the division sign until it is changed to multiplication. So when we change this to multiplication, we have 4/5 initially. But once it has changed to multiplication, we're going to have a reciprocate of the fraction. For instance, I have A/B. The reciprocal of A/B is B/A. This is what we call reciprocal. We have to interchange the numerator and the denominator. So we're having A as numerator here. We're having B as denominator. When we take reciprocal, the B becomes numerator and the A becomes denominator. So that's what we're going to do for this also. So let's proceed. 4/5. That will give us 4/5. When you reciprocate this, we are going to have 5/4. After reciprocation, we have 5/4. And close the brackets. We simplify this. We have 2 multiplied by 5, 10 over 3 multiplied by 4, that's 12. So we have 10/12. That's the first part. The second part, let's simplify the second part. We have 1 over 4 plus 3 over 5 minus 1 over 3. And to simplify this, these fractions are connected by plus and minus. That is, if you are to simplify it, we have to find the LCM. Take note, anytime you have a question whereby the fractions are connected by plus or minus, the first thing that have to come to your mind is that you need to find the LCM. But in the case of multiplication and division, there's no need to find LCM. So we have to find the LCM of 4, 5, and 3. The LCM of 4, 5, and 3. LCM of 4, 5, and 3. And that should be 60. The LCM of 4, 5, and 3 should be 60. So we have 60 divided by the fraction of the first number, the denominator of the first fraction, which is 1 over 4. The denominator is 4. So we divide this, we have 15. And we are going to have it as 1, which is the numerator bracket, the response we got, which is 15, plus the next denominator is 5. We have again 60 over 5. That will give us 12. That is, we write 3, which is the numerator, bracket, 12, close the bracket, minus now. Then we have 60 over 3, that is 20, and that will give us 1 bracket 20. So we can now simplify this expression. 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 15, that will be 15 plus 3 multiplied by 12, that will be 36, minus 1 multiplied by 20, that will be 20, all over 60. So we simplify this. Okay, someone is asking how we got 60. I will attend to your question right away. So how do we get 60? We have the denominator to be 4, 5, and 3. And we are asked to find the LCM of this. That's LCM means the lowest common multiple. So the lowest common multiple of this 4, 5, and 3 should be 60. Now, how do I get this? I use the multiplicative approach for that. That is 4 times 5 gave me 20. Then 20 multiplied by 20 multiplied by 3, that will be what? 60. So that's what we got the answer to be 60 as the LCM. Rose, I believe I've answered your question. Okay, all right. So let's proceed. To simplify this, we have 15 plus 36 minus 20. 15 plus 36 minus 20. 15 plus 36 minus 20. That will give us 31 by simple calculation. Adding this together, then subtracting 20, we have 31 over 60. We have 31 over 60. We have 31 over 60. So we'll proceed to consider the two brackets now. We've simplified those brackets individually. Now we'll bring them together so we can get the final response for that simplification. Permit me to rub this side so we can continue on this page. All right. So we have the first fraction give us the first bracket here, give us 10/12 divided, that's the division in the question here. The second bracket gave us 31/60. 31/60. And to proceed with this, we are going to have 10/12. These have to change to multiplication. And if this changes to multiplication, do not forget I said there will be something that will happen to the fraction immediately after the division sign. If the fraction is 31/60, now we have changed it to multiplication. That means that our 31/16 will be reciprocated. So if I'm going to ask, what will be the reciprocal of 31/60? I want your response in the chat box. What will be the reciprocal of 31/60? What will be the reciprocal of 31/60? Drop your response in the chat box. What will be the reciprocal of 31/60? Reciprocate 31/60. What are we going to have? Just type it in the chat box. Waiting. What is the reciprocal of 31/60? 60/31. That's great. Patricia, great response. So let's proceed. 31. Now we're going to be having, instead of 31, we'll be having 60/31. 60/31. Now let's proceed. We need to simplify this. We can't just multiply. So we need to reduce this to the lowest fraction. 12 divided by 12 will give us 1, of course. And 60 divided by 12 will give us 5. So we are left with 10/1 multiplied by 5/31. And there's no other value we can still divide. So we are free to multiply by saying 10 multiplied by 5/1 multiplied by 31. That should give us 10 multiplied by 5 will be 50/1 multiplied by 31 will be 31. So we have the response to be 50/31. If I'm going to ask this question, what type of fraction is 50/31? 50/31 is what type of fraction? Let me have your response in the chat box. 50/31 is what type of fraction? Is it proper fraction? Is it improper fraction? Or is it a mixed number? I want your response in the chat box. Waiting for your response so we can move to the next application. We have one more application, then we'll move to evaluation. Yes, what type of fraction is 50/31? What type of fraction is 50/31? Is it proper fraction or improper fraction or a mixed number? I'm waiting. What type of fraction? Waiting for your response. Improper fraction. A great response, Patricia. It is an improper fraction. So I believe we got this example that we just treated, this application. So if you get it right, you got the explanation, you understood what we've just solved, just give a thumbs up in the chat box, send an emoji so that we can move on. Just say, yes, I understand, or send an emoji, a thumbs up, so we can continue to the next application. Thumbs up in the chat box if you understood this application 1, or say, type in the chat box, yes, I understood. Waiting for your response. Do you understand this application 1? If yes, type yes. Yes, yes, in the chat box. I'm waiting for your response. Do you understand this application one? Okay, yes, I understand. Can I have one more response? Okay, let's proceed. I believe I can rub off the board, right? Can I rub off the board? So we'll move to the next application. If yes, please type yes in the chat box. Okay, so we proceed to application two. Application two. App two. That's a UTME 2018. A school girl spent 1/4 of her pocket money on book and 1/3 on dress. What is the fraction left? So we have up to UTME question 2018. A girl spent 1/4 of her pocket money on book and 1/3 on dress. What is the fraction left? What is the fraction left? So we want to consider this as the second application. Second application, solution to that, we are asked to find the fraction left. That is the remaining fraction after the girl has spent 1/4 on her book and 1/3 on dress. What is the fraction left? Do not forget, in the beginning of the class, we defined fraction as a part of whole, as a part of whole. And we made use of an orange, that an orange is a whole. Then when the orange is divided into two, we have a fraction of the orange, that is 1/2, 1/2. So now the money of the girl here signify a whole. When she have not spent the money signify a whole. That is, the money with the girl, when she has not even spent on anything, neither dress nor book, is representing a whole. So our pocket money is just representing a whole, and a whole, I mean, it represents 1. So the pocket money represents 1. Now, if she's spending 1/4 of her pocket money, that means we'll be subtracting 1/4 from her pocket money. So we have minus 1/4. Also, she spent 1/3 minus 1/3. So this was spent on book and this on dress. And if you notice, the operation that was used was minus, because we are going to subtract those fractions from our pocket money, which is represented as 1. Our pocket money represents 1. So let's proceed to simplify that and have the response. We have 1 minus, I can have this in brackets, so I will solve them first. That will be 1/4. Then because I factorized minus outside, I'll be having plus inside here, 1/3, close the brackets, 1 minus. Let's consider the bracket first. What is the LCM of 4 and 3? The denominator, 4 and 3. The LCM should be 12. The LCM of 4 and 3 should be 12. So we have 1. So we have 12 as the LCM. We have 12 as the LCM. We have 1 minus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 3. So we have 1 minus, the LCM here is 12. So we have 12 as the LCM. 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4, that should be equals to 3. We have 3 in brackets plus 12 divided by the next denominator, which is 3, that equals to 4. So we have 1, which is the numerator, bracket 4. So we have that 1, which represents the pocket money. We have 12. Multiply 1 by 3, that is 3, plus multiply 1 by 4, that is 4. And we have 1 minus 7 over 12. So we have to take away 7 over 12 from 1. And to make this easy, we're going to give a denominator to 1 also. We're going to give a denominator to 1. 1 will now be 1 over 1 minus 7 over 12. And the LCM of 1 and 12 will be 12. So we have 12 as the LCM. 12 as the LCM. Divide this 12 by the first denominator, which is 1. So we have 12 as the response in brackets, then the 1 which serves as the denominator, minus 12 divided by 12 now. Okay, so we have 12 divided by 12 will be equals to 1. 12 divided by 12 equals to 1. We have 1 bracket 7, 1 bracket 7. So we have the answers to be 1 times 12 will be 12, minus 1 times 7 will be 7, all over 12. Subtracting 7 from 12, we have 5 over 12. So the fraction left after she has spent on address and book is 5 over 12. Is 5 over 12. 5 over 12. So if there are any questions on this application, please let me know in the chat box. Is this up to? Is it clear to everyone? Your response in the chat box. Your response in the chat box. Is application 2 clear to everyone? Application 2, is it clear to us? If yes, type yes inside the chat box. I'm waiting for your response. App 2, is it clear to us? Do you understand application 2? Or is there any question on application 2? If you have any question, please kindly drop it in the chat box so we consider it together. I need your response so we can proceed. Is application 2 clear to everyone? If yes, type yes in the chat box. Application 2 is clear to me. Type yes. I'm waiting for a response. Okay, someone is asking that how do we know our pocket money is 1? That is Patricia. Okay, I'll reply to that. We said earlier that a fraction is a part of a whole. So her pocket money, when she have not spent anything from the money, it's still complete. But when she starts spending from it, that means the pocket money starts reducing. If my pocket money is 40, let me say 40 naira as an example, this represents a whole until I start spending from it, then it starts reducing. So the pocket money given to her is representing one as a whole. Why? Because no expenditure has been done yet. So until there's an expenditure that is being done by her before the money can start reducing. So that is why we take 40. That was the money given to her by her parents. It served as the whole of the fraction. So 1 represents her pocket money, and that is why we have to take it as 1 and subtract the fraction of the money she spent so far from the 1, which represents the pocket money of the lady or the girl. Let's assume that 40 naira is the money. If she spent 1/3 of 40 naira, that will be multiplying this, that's 40/3. So we're going to have like a decimal value here. That's we're going to have like something of 10.333. So she spent something of this nature out of 40 naira. I believe I've answered your question. Is there any other question? Okay, if no question, can I rub the board so we can proceed? Okay. So evaluation. This we are going to answer personally, and I want our swift response. We have a UTME question 2002. Simplify. It's a very simple question that will not take our time. Simplify 2/3 multiplied by 3/4 divided by 1/4. So we are asked to simplify this. UTME 2002. Simplify this question. So I will leave us to do this. And I want your answer in the chat box. I want your answer in the chat box. The question is simplify 2/3 multiplied by 3/4 divided by 1/4. That's the question. We asked to simplify this. So while we are doing that and I'm waiting for a response, today we have been able to touch fraction and we're able to define what fraction is, the definition of fraction. We define fraction as a part of whole, and we also considered the type of fraction. We said we have the improper fraction, the proper fraction, and also the mixed number. We also talked about the mixed number, and also we're able to touch the rule of what? BODMAS. The rule of BODMAS. Do you have anyone who have solved this question? 2/3 times 3/4 divided by 1/4. If you have solved it, you can drop your response in the chat box. Okay. So we talked about definition of fraction, the type of fraction, and also the rule of BODMAS. So for us to have a detailed knowledge of this topic, I will plead us to check on our A1 Tutor app. Go on A1 Tutor app, search under SS1 as a class. The first topic you are going to be seeing there is fraction, percentage, and decimal. So you can have a detailed video lesson on that topic on the A1 Tutor app. And also for us that do not have, probably do not follow the full session of this class, or you want to still go through this video, you can check on A1 Tutor, check on YouTube, search for A1 Tutor. You have access to every videos of live session that we have been having, the one of today and the one of the previous classes. In case you miss any class before, you can check on YouTube and you have the videos to watch easily. So please do not forget that we'll still be meeting in the next few minutes. Another class will be coming up, which is physics. So please stay online and stay connected so that you won't miss any part of these live classes. So I didn't see anyone. Okay, 72. Do you mean 7/2 or 72? 3/2 times 3/4. Changing this to multiplication, that will be 1, 4/1. 4 we cancel 4, 3 we cancel 3. So the answer should be 2. For anyone that solved it, the answer should be 2. The answer should be 2. I believe we get that. The response for that question I gave us is 2. The answer should be 2. So please do not forget, another class will be coming up in a few minutes' time. That's physics class. Ensure you join the class. And also do not forget to check on YouTube, search for A1 Tutor, check the previous videos of the live session and the one of today to have a detailed learning process. And also on our A1 Tutor app, you have topics of such. The one we did the former classes, that of today also, all of these topics are in our A1 Tutor app. Go there and watch it. And also do well to practice questions on the CBT menu. There are past questions for you to solve. WAEC, UTME, and NECO. You have access to them. Solve those questions and keep practicing. And I believe excellency is coming your way. Okay, thank you for today, and thank you for your time. Bye. See you in the next class.